Oh, intro sting at the start. You must be thinking, what's going on here? Well, we've got a bit of a kind of reaction for you. I'd say it's a live reaction. That's not strictly true. I'm doing it live if that helps. Basically, I couldn't get the guys together. They're all busy doing other things at the moment. And a pretty big Celtic story has broken, I think, that Leigh Griffiths will continue to be a Celtic player next season. So I thought I would just do what I usually do, basically, with a solo video, just me, mic, camera, light, etc. Not going to put too much work into the editing. Don't expect too many amazing graphics, too many photos, anything like that. This is going to be a stripped back 67 Hail video. So yeah, just giving some thoughts on the story that Leigh Griffiths has been given a 1-year contract extension at Celtic. As I say, no fancy graphics or anything in this video. It's just going to be very stripped back. It is the first major decision I think Ange Postecoglou has made, unless I'm missing an obvious one. Celtic tweeted just before midday that Leigh Griffiths has signed a 1-year contract extension. They gave a bit of waffle on the website, as you would normally expect, about his recent goal scoring record, and then went on to include some quotes from both Griffiths and his manager. Now, Griffiths says, "I'm delighted to extend my time at the club. Celtic is a club I love and want to do all I can to play my part in bringing success to our supporters. I'm looking forward to the season ahead and working with the new gaffer and the rest of the lads. It is an exciting time for the club and I wanted to be part of the club's future. I'll be doing everything I can to help us get back to where we all want to be." Ange Postecoglou also quoted in this statement from Celtic. I'm not doing an Aussie accent, by the way. Should I? No, I'm definitely not. He says, "I am really pleased to keep Leigh with us for another season at least. I have had very positive conversations with Leigh and he clearly understands my expectations and, more importantly, the club's. Leigh has already proven himself as one of the top strikers in Scotland and I look forward to working with him so that we can bring success to Celtic Football Club." The key for me here is that this is Ange Postecoglou's decision. He has had a chance to either keep Leigh Griffiths on or to cast Leigh Griffiths aside. Remember, Leigh Griffiths is out of contract as of this morning. So Ange Postecoglou has had the chance, and the key thing that he speaks about there is that Griffiths understands both Postecoglou's expectations and, more importantly, the club's. Now that, to me, is alluding to the past few seasons, and especially last season, and it's fair to say I think Griffiths has fallen short of those standards. I'm intrigued by the Ange's expectations. We know Postecoglou's teams and how they like to play. Griffiths, does he still have the legs to play in a Postecoglou team? We'll certainly find out. He certainly did okay in the Brendan Rodgers team, although that's a few years ago. They obviously play a similar way. But it's Ange's decision, and I think everyone, no matter how you feel about this, has to kind of just go with that. He's the manager. We've got to trust him with everything. What I will say is that Leigh Griffiths loves being written off, and he's been written off by everyone at the moment, with good reason, may I add. And I know that he's not contributed a lot over the last few seasons. I think I read somewhere that he's played 8 full matches for Celtic in the last 3 years, which is a kind of jarring statistic to hear. I know he's been a player who hasn't contributed a lot over the last few seasons. And listen, I was at the front of the queue of people saying that we should not renew Leigh Griffiths' contract. I think months ago, before it was even a massively popular thing, I was saying, get rid of Leigh Griffiths and bring in Kevin Nisbet, a newer model, a guy who will score more goals and will be the future of Celtic rather than the past of Celtic. I wasn't in favour of keeping Leigh Griffiths on, but equally, I know there's going to be a lot of anger from a lot of people in the Celtic support, probably a lot of people watching this video. I think we just need to get on with it, and I personally don't see it as a terrible blow for our title hopes or anything like that. Equally, I don't think it's a contract signing that's going to lead us back to winning the league. I just think it's pretty kind of standard, to be honest. We're not exactly in a position at the moment, Celtic, where we can afford just to kind of get rid of players, discard players. Yeah, we could have got rid of Griffiths and brought in Kevin Nisbet, but you're talking probably 3.5 million. And is the money there to do that in every single position? If bringing Leigh Griffiths back for another season means that we can spend the money we would have had to spend on his replacement in another position on the park that needs it, even more so than the striker department, then I can't necessarily say I'm against that. There was obviously a lot of chat on social media yesterday that Griffiths' contract wasn't going to get renewed. I think people had alluded to daft things like him unfollowing Celtic on Instagram and wiping all mentions of Celtic on his bios on Instagram or Twitter. I think the fact he's been training in a kind of public or private gym as opposed to at Lennoxtown has been spoken about quite a lot. All that speculation never really made sense to me or any of the other guys at 67 Hail, because you go off what both Postecoglou and Griffiths have said, and they both alluded to having positive discussions. Griffiths spoke openly on BBC Radio Scotland, I think 10 days or so ago, about that. So it's hardly surprising to me that this deal has been sorted out. As I say, it's definitely not an amazing thing that's happened, but I don't think it's quite as bad as a lot of people will make out. I think some Celtic fans, rightly or wrongly, will once again look and ask the question whether we're taking the rebuild seriously, if we're just handing contracts to the likes of Griffiths and Anthony Ralston, and we've been linked to people like Sviatchenko and obviously Gordon Strachan in recent weeks, although that was rebuffed by the club. I take that point on board completely, and as I say, I wasn't in favour of giving Griffiths a new contract, but he has proved us wrong in the past, and I'm doubting myself saying that at this stage because I've been saying it for so long. But you never know with a new manager if Griffiths can buy into what Postecoglou wants, and even if he's able to score 10 or 15 goals in all competitions next season, then you could probably look at this being decent business from Celtic. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below. We'll have another video coming out later today when I talk about the season ticket sale Celtic have had this year and the message sent out from Don Mackay to the club supporters. It's a 2-day Thursday, lads. What a great pleasure. Thank you for watching, and I'll speak to you in 5 hours.